time to see if any of these old metal bones can fit anywhere in my new corset. That's too short, which probably means that that one might fit. Too short. That's a good fit. Okay. That looks like a good fit, even slightly too long. Yeah, use that. Too long. Right. Put two in there already, so the next one is nope. Too long. The same for that one is pretty darn perfect. So what's maybe they will do after all. That one's too short. Too short. Possible. Okay. So this is a very curvy seam. So I'm not sure it's gonna work. I might have to do the boning straight even though this curve, the seam is curved. And I think I'm gonna have to do it inside of this part. Let's see. That should actually work well. Can I make it? I think I might be able to make it follow that curve more or less. To dig up all my needles that have somehow become missing in action after the trip because they were on the shelf along with my skincare equipment, which of course there's a new nurse every night handling the skincare equipment. Stuff that's in the vicinity just moves all of a sudden, unpredictably. And the needles were in one of those magnetic armbands. But of course, when that magnetic armband falls down, the needles just go flying. It remains to be seen whether I will dare to try machine sewing these boning channels. It feels very scary to risk the sewing machine needles on the steel bones. But I do want, since I want the channels to be really tight so the boning doesn't start twisting. I might have to give it a try, but let me try to get the corresponding bone on the other half into place at the same time and compare the two. So that they are not wildly different. Yes. Lining fabric was really bunched up, but now it's better. I hope I'll find some of my needles because this is not going to be enough. Ooh, or I'm going to have to do just 2 boning channels at a time. This is already a slow job. I might just have to do some stitching, like, and sewing a nice contrasty yellow or something at first to preserve, I save myself from having to use all the needles. Come on, back to the surface. There we go. rest of the corsets I made, I added a lot of tape at the ends of the boning to prevent it from poking through, but the boning channels had to be quite wide to allow for that tape to go through it. This time I've chosen to take all the tape off, so they'll have just rounded by the file. They don't catch the fabric in any way. They are nicely rounded by my Dremel. They're nicely thin. It's still boning as very flexible in one direction and absolutely not flexible in the other direction, which is why I want to use it pretty much along the seams. It's basically to make sure the fabric ends up where it's supposed to be to shape the body or conform to the body underneath. Now each bone will bend. Like I've just straightened them up, straightened them out, but they will bend like at the waist. It'll probably look something like that would be the waist, hip, and then up to the chest, breastbone, because you can reduce the diameter of the waist quite a bit if you're squishy like me, but you cannot reduce the width of the breastbones. That's bones that are there to protect your lungs and stuff, so you don't want to add any extra pressure on there. Actually, you're supposed to be able to stick your hand all the way down to at least to the waist of the corset. You can tuck stuff in there. The corsets are not meant to be tight-laced. That's just a huge misunderstanding. It was historically they were rarely tight-laced at all, and if they were, it was only for very short periods of time. Let's see, did I have any for these panels? None of them are long enough, so that means that I'll have to get out brand new bones and divide them with my Dremel. Let's see, they have to be that long. Where's my pen? Where's my marker? About that long, and I should need two of them. This is such fun, trying to maneuver the steel. To measure more or less how long the other one needs to be. Let's see. I can actually bend it pretty close, like so. get full iron splinters or steel splinters. I think I'm gonna try to just do it with the fire burst. If that doesn't work, I'll have to use a saw blade. But let's give it a try. The other side, sorry about the little movement there. I hope you didn't get too sneaky. Just got me to phone holder. And obviously I should try not to touch it with my arm while I'm recording. Looks like I need a blade. What should be close? But I am making you jump again. Sorry about that. It will not last long. There we go. Need to speed. Looks like I'm gonna cut my fingers. I got a bit more experience with this you can feel the vibration on the metal. So I know how it moves. And I still not hit my fingers with it. At times I have managed to hit pieces of clothing or my hair, and that has taught me a bit about safety. So luckily I haven't had to learn it really hard yet. My two tabs for the toolkit are not exactly the same, so I shouldn't have just measured it. And But I just can't be bothered doing that at this stage. Then I can go all the way from top to bottom. Okay. Now I just have to get the file back on and round the edges. Which meant that you got bumped again. Sorry about that. Sparkles from time to time. Lungs. The cake. You have to go in, mainly on the waist. Do you know where the waist and the underbutt is? Because I haven't set it take very strong people live in the sodium it. It's often called a waist tape on a first side, the waist tape and the waist tape. So where the waist tape is will be the narrowest point. Well, actually the underbust is also often very narrow. Many women, the underbust is actually smaller than the waist. Considering how you're put together. For most women, the waist is slightly more flexible than the underbust because the underbust has to do with ribs. And the waist doesn't. It's just self-loading. The waist. Bras. Oh, actually all bras go made out of elastic fabric. Which is probably the reason why they don't really perform the task that they're supposed to do. They don't actually support the bust properly because they're elastic. They move too much. I'm going to try to actually reduce the number of steel bones in this corset compared to what it had before. And use more plastic bone and some just yarn. give the shape without having to have really strong bone, because that was never needed before. The first corsets were stayed, were basically made of lots and lots and lots of little panels filled with reeds. Basically brass, they're very bendy, very lightweight, and just like Belen, the whale teeth, that's the little corsets were made with. They adapt with the body and bend, and so that the corset fits the exact body they are on. And that makes them very comfortable. With my corset, I got a very, very sturdy, beautiful brocade fabric, so I should not actually need a lot of steel going in. I'm not going to use it to tight lace or to tie on. I'm going to use it way more for just supporting my bust and relieving my back. There we go, 2 bones. Tape that held it onto the spool. And start inserting it. Well, wouldn't you know, that's pretty darn perfect. Okay, that top end should be bent back a little bit. This is fine because I got the tool right here. There we go. Nice and straight. I expect that this back panel will be, let's see, that's up, that's down, so it'll probably be bent a bit like so at the bottom, and a bit less at the top. This is the mid back. So my spine will probably come between the 2 layers. I think I'm gonna make it have a gap in the back, because that leaves the possibility to actually tight lace if needed for some piece of clothing or something like that for an event. And then if my back hurts or well, actually my back hurts, I want more support, not less. Generally, so that's the good thing about corsets. You don't take them off to breathe like the movies insist. You put them on to rest. You don't have to carry the entire weight of everything you do all day. It's a very good back support, actually. Oh, I was gonna bend back that edge too. Let's see. That was good. was a bit longer. I'm actually gonna try to swap them, see if they are the same. This one. Come out of there. Come back wherever you are. I need to get my voice back. Yeah, that's better there. It is actually still a bit on the long side, so I'm gonna file it down. But I don't feel that I need to make you listen to me doing that. So I'm gonna let you go for now, and I'll see you after the next step at some point.